Do you love blueberries? Do you love biscuits? Well, you're going to absolutely fall in love with these delicious blueberry biscuits. I can't wait to demonstrate this one. Let's get it started, y'all. So we're starting off by washing a pint of blueberries. You're going to be using the whole container, the whole pint here. Okay, to your blueberries, you're going to add a half cup of blueberry pie filling. Whatever brand you prefer is fine. Just as long as it's a half cup. All right, we're going to be adding our sugar, a total of 2 tablespoons. Also going to be adding a half teaspoon of salt. All right, we're going to get that all mixed together here. And we're doing our blueberry mixture first because we want to put it back in the refrigerator to get it nice and chilled. We want to add our blueberry mixture to our dough while it's nice and cold. You don't want to put a warm mixture on your dough here. So get it all mixed in and get it in that refrigerator. So now it's time to work on that dough. We're going in with 2 16-ounce bowls of self-rising flour. Adding in a little baking soda, a total of 1 teaspoon. Going in with a half a teaspoon of salt. And a 1/3 cup of sugar. And let's get all those dry ingredients all nice and mixed in here. All right, so we're adding in our butter. Our salted butter is what I prefer, but you can use unsalted. A total of 2 sticks here. 2 sticks of salted butter, which is equivalent to, of course, a cup. And make sure that butter is nice and cold. The colder the better for the rise of these biscuits here. All right, we're just taking our hands, and you can use a pastry cutter if you like, but I'm just taking my hands and getting that butter and flour all nice and mixed in here. Once you get to this consistency, a nice cornmeal-y mixture is what you want. This is the consistency that's going to make these biscuits just perfect. We're just about there. That's perfect, y'all. Okay, we're going in with that buttermilk. You want to make sure you give it a good shake. All right, we're going to pour right in the center. We're going to start off with just 1.5 cups at first. And the reason why we're going with 1.5 cups at first, because I don't always use the same buttermilk brand, and I don't know what kind you all would use. So 1.5 cups will work best in the beginning. We don't want to put too much in because we can't take it out once we put it in. So once we mix it in pretty good, we'll see if we need a little bit more. Again, starting off with 1.5 cups of that buttermilk. And as I can see here, it's going to need a little bit more. So I am going to go in with another 1/2 cup of buttermilk at this point. All right, so 2 full cups of buttermilk is the maximum of buttermilk that you will need for this recipe. All right, so we're just going to slowly get all of the dry ingredients nice and incorporated here. All right, we're going for just a little bit of tackiness. We don't want a whole lot. And you're just going to make sure it's mixed just enough to get all those dry ingredients mixed in, because you don't want to over mix. We don't want overly dense biscuits here. Okay, so from here I just add a little bit of flour as needed, just to help me mold the dough like I need to here, without it just sticking to my hands too much. You don't want it sticking to you too much here. All right, so mainly I just work on those fingertips here just to get that dough to kind of release from the bowl real good. This dough ball should be really nice and soft. Mixing this dough just enough is the key to having these biscuits nice and fluffy. Again, no over mixing. All right, so you can see here it's not sticking to the bowl nowhere near as much, so it's just about ready to put on that surface. So you're just going to take a little bit of flour, because this dough ball has a little bit of a tackiness to it. But again, we're working with that because we don't want it to be overmixed. All right, so from here, before I roll it out, I'm trying to see if it's going to roll out without it sticking too much. Right now, it's sticking a little bit too much to my hand, so I'm just using a little bit of flour to make it easier to work with. But again, just a little flour at a time here at this point. All right, so I got a nice little ball here, and I could not find my rolling pin, so I had to take a little pan spray little bottle here that I washed off real good. And I'm gonna use that because sometimes you gotta use what you got, right? All right, so I'm gonna roll this dough out for me until it gets about a 1/4 of an inch thick. And rolling it out to roughly about a rectangle shape here. Again, you can roll it out a little bit thicker or a little bit thinner. It's up to you, but this works best for me, this size here. Again, it does not have to be perfect. So we're gonna take our blueberry filling here, and we're gonna take half of the amount, and we're gonna place it down the left side, or whichever side you're doing first, just half of it, down one side of the dough. Now you don't want to do it all the way to the end of the dough, because the side that you flip over needs to be dry or without any filling, because if you have the filling on the part that you're flipping, it will make a mess. And we're trying to do this the easiest, quickest, cleanest way possible. We don't want to make a mess while we're doing our blueberry biscuits here. So I use a little, well, you're using a spatula, but I have a little putty knife that I like to use. So don't judge me, y'all. This is my putty knife that I use just for baking here. Scrape underneath there to make it release pretty easy here. All right, and because no pie filling was on that side, it folded so easy. And you're going to do the same thing to the other side, making sure you have some clearance to be able to fold your dough. Remember, don't put it on the end here. Coming along great, and you're going to use all of the pie filling. Make sure you get it all out of the bowl. Remember, half and half. That's perfect. Okay, same here. You want to take that spatula and you just want to go underneath that dough to make sure it's going to release pretty easy. And we're going to fold this over just like we did the other side here. Always letting a little bit of that flour work for you. Going up under that dough with that spatula to make sure it releases. So now we're going to fold one half over and onto the other half. And by doing that, we've already created our folds. We have created our 3 folds right there. And everybody loves the nice biscuits with the nice folds in it, right? So 3 of our folds have already been created here. I'm going to take that spatula, I'm going to one end and fold over for our 4th fold. And we're going to go to the top and we're going to make the 5th fold. And this is all the folding that you will need. Easy enough, right? And no making a mess with those blueberries. Okay, so from here, again, I keep a little flour on my hands and I just begin to press down. Now you want to press down nice and soft. You don't want to put too much pressure on them because remember, you do have that filling inside of this dough. And I like to press mine down to about, I want to say about, my dough is about a 1/2 inch thick. Now you can go a little bit thicker or thinner, but that's about the thickness I want for my biscuits before I put it in the oven. But again, the thickness is completely up to you. And I'm just pressing down again into a little small rectangle shape here. That's perfect. Now for me, I do not use a traditional biscuit cutter. I use my putty knife or just a regular spatula is fine. And I cut my biscuits into rectangle or square shapes. This way we use all of the dough on the first try. We do not have to do a second mix or a second knead on the dough, making the dough tough. So you're only going to mix this dough one time, and by cutting it like this, you'll use all of the pieces the very first time. Just keep putting a little spatula into the flour, and that's going to help it to cut just that much easier for you. And if you want your biscuits round, by all means, use your traditional biscuit cutter. This is just the way I prefer to do it. I'm going in with a little liquid egg product here, just your regular egg beaters. But if you don't have egg beaters, feel free to use an egg with a little bit of water. That will work just fine. And I'm going to brush them with this. Now, I love brushing them with an egg wash instead of a buttermilk or just a butter because it gives it such a nice gloss. It browns the biscuit so much better and gives it just an overall beautiful finish. And the size of my biscuits are all over the place, y'all. As y'all can see, I have some small ones, I have some big ones, but that's okay. I'm giving these away to my wonderful customers today. All right, so I'm just taking my spatula here. I'm just going underneath each piece to help it release that much easier. You don't want to just pick them up with your hand because these are very moist biscuits here. And again, they still have some tackiness to it. So you want to let the spatula work for you. So go underneath each one and pick them up that way. It works so much better. Just periodically putting your spatula in a little flour to kind of help you out along the way here. All right, they're pretty much all in that pan, getting ready to go in this oven. So one last little piece here. All right, we're going to bake them on about 375 degrees for roughly about 20 minutes. No two ovens are created equal, so make sure you keep an eye on them, y'all. Okay, so while they're in the oven, we are going to be working on our simple vanilla glaze. 1 cup of powdered sugar. To the powdered sugar, we're going to add 2 tablespoons of milk. Going in with a 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla. And just mix it all up until nice and smooth. All right, that's perfect. It's perfectly smooth, y'all. So the biscuits are out and they are so beautifully golden brown, y'all. And I am brushing them with a little bit of butter here. Now you can leave the butter off, but I gotta have butter on mine. It just takes it over the top. Makes them look better and taste just that much better. Aren't they pretty already? All right, so while they're still nice and hot, you want to make sure the biscuits are still really hot here. You want to add the first little layer of glaze. And this first layer of glaze is going to soak into the biscuits really good because the biscuits are nice and hot here. Remember not to use it all because you are going in with a second glaze here. Okay, so they've cooled just a little bit, but they're still warm, and that first layer of glaze has soaked into the biscuits. So now we're putting this other layer on here to make them just that much sweeter, but they're gonna have a better look. They're gonna make them look so pretty here. So good, y'all. And this layer should rest on top. Oh man, can't wait to dig into these, y'all. And there you go, your finished product. I wish you all can taste these with me, but since you can't, I'm gonna have to do it all by myself. They turned out so good, y'all. Take a look. Oh my goodness, they are delicious. Let me take a little bite here, y'all. Show y'all the inside of these biscuits. Oh, they look so good. Thank y'all so much for spending this time with me. I hope you try the recipe, and I'll see y'all next time.